Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most iconic stars. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on a comedic genius who left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry, Lou Costello. As one half of the legendary duo Abbott and Costello, Lou's antics on screen continue to leave audiences in stitches, but behind the laughter lies a complex and intriguing individual. Imagine walking through the vibrant streets of Paterson, New Jersey, on a crisp spring morning in 1906. The air is filled with the sweet scent of blooming cherry blossoms, and the sound of horse-drawn carriages echoes through the streets. It's here, in this bustling Italian-American neighborhood, that Lou Costello was born. Louis Francis Cristillo on March 6, 1906, to Sebastiano and Helen Cristillo. His father, a skilled silk weaver, had emigrated from Italy in search of better opportunities, bringing with him a strong work ethic and a passion for traditional Italian craftsmanship. Lou's mother, a homemaker and devoted caregiver, managed the household and cared for their growing family with love, warmth, and a quick wit that would later influence her youngest son's comedic style. The sounds of lively conversations, laughter, and traditional Italian music filled the air, creating a rich tapestry of sensory experiences that would shape Lou's childhood and future career. As the youngest of 8 children, Lou was surrounded by a cast of colorful characters, each with their own unique personality, story, and sense of humor. His siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins all played a role in shaping his comedic perspective, teaching him the value of timing, exaggeration, and physical comedy. Growing up in Paterson during the early 20th century was a unique experience, with the city's textile mills and factories providing employment for many immigrants like Lou's father. The community was tight-knit, with families often gathering for festivals, feasts, and other celebrations that reflected their Italian heritage. Young Lou was enchanted by the colorful characters and lively storytelling that filled his childhood, from the charismatic street vendors to the eccentric neighbors who would regale him with tales of the old country. These early influences would later find their way into his comedic routines, as he drew upon the rich cultural heritage of his community to create some of the most iconic characters and sketches in comedy history. As a child, Lou was a bit of a scamp, always getting into mischief and pushing the boundaries with his siblings and friends. He would often sneak into the local theater, hiding behind the curtains to watch the vaudeville performances, and mesmerized by the magicians, acrobats, and comedians who took the stage. His parents, though strict disciplinarians, encouraged his creativity and sense of humor, recognizing the value of laughter and play in a hard-working immigrant community. Lou's mother, in particular, was known for her quick wit and sharp tongue, often regaling the family with humorous anecdotes and stories that left them all in stitches. She would tease him good-naturedly about his antics, saying, "Louis, you're going to be a comedian someday." Little did she know how prophetic those words would become. Lou's early education took place at St. Francis Church School, where he developed a strong foundation in Catholicism and a love of music, particularly opera. His parents, though not wealthy, valued education and encouraged Lou to pursue his interests, even if they seemed unconventional for a young boy from a working-class background. As he entered his teenage years, Lou began to explore the world beyond Paterson, attending vaudeville shows and theater performances in nearby New York City. These experiences sparked a passion for entertainment that would eventually lead him to pursue a career in show business. He was especially drawn to the works of Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, and Harold Lloyd, studying their movements, timing, and comedic techniques with an intensity that bordered on obsession. The early 1920s were a time of great change and upheaval in America, with the Roaring Twenties ushering in a new era of freedom, creativity, and self-expression. For Lou Costello, these years marked a period of discovery and experimentation as he navigated the challenges of adolescence and began to explore his own unique talents and interests. With his quick wit, charming personality, and natural comedic timing, Lou was poised to make a lasting impact on the entertainment industry, though he could hardly have imagined the twists and turns that lay ahead. As the 1920s progressed, Lou Costello's passion for entertainment only intensified, leading him to drop out of high school and pursue a career in show business with unbridled enthusiasm. The bright lights, the thrill of the stage, and the roar of the audience beckoned him, and he couldn't resist the allure. He began performing in various vaudeville acts, honing his skills as a comedian, actor, and dancer, and perfecting his timing and physical comedy antics. The smell of grease paint, the feel of the spotlight on his face, and the sound of laughter from the crowd became his lifeblood. In 1927, he met his future partner, Bud Abbott, while working at the Empire Burlesque Theater in Newark, New Jersey, a venue notorious for its raucous audiences and eclectic performances. The two comedians quickly discovered their chemistry on stage, with Costello's physical antics and Abbott's straight-man persona proving to be a winning combination. Their early performances together were marked by a series of comedic mishaps, including a notorious incident in which Costello accidentally set off a fire extinguisher during a show, covering the audience in foam and sending them into hysterics. Despite such setbacks, the duo persevered, refining their act and developing a unique brand of humor that blended witty banter with slapstick comedy. They spent countless hours rehearsing, tweaking their routines, and fine-tuning their delivery, often until the wee hours of the morning. As they navigated the cutthroat world of vaudeville, Abbott and Costello encountered a diverse array of performers, from burlesque dancers to musicians, each with their own unique stories and struggles. They learned to adapt to any situation, think on their feet, and roll with the punches, skills that would serve them well in their future endeavors. By the early 1930s, Abbott and Costello had become a staple of the vaudeville circuit, performing to packed houses across the United States, from the bright lights of New York City to the dusty towns of the Midwest. One of their most notable early successes came in 1936 when they appeared on the popular radio show, The Kate Smith Hour. Their performance, which featured a hilarious routine about two men trying to assemble a piece of furniture, brought them widespread attention and helped establish them as one of the top comedy teams in the country. The radio show's massive audience and Smith's warm introduction catapulted them into the national spotlight, and they soon found themselves in high demand. As their fame grew, so did their ambitions, and in 1939 they made their film debut in One Night in the Tropics, a romantic comedy starring Alan Jones and Nancy Kelly. The movie's light-hearted tone and exotic setting provided the perfect backdrop for Abbott and Costello's comedic talents, and they stole every scene they were in. Although the film was not a major commercial success, it marked an important milestone in their careers as they began to transition from vaudeville to the silver screen. The 1940s were a pivotal time for Abbott and Costello as they navigated the challenges of Hollywood and became one of the most popular comedy teams in the industry. Their first starring vehicle, Buck Privates, was released in 1941 and proved to be a huge success, spawning a series of sequels and cementing their status as box office stars. The film's mix of witty dialogue, physical comedy, and patriotic fervor resonated with audiences during a time of war, and it remains one of the duo's most beloved films. Throughout the 1940s, Abbott and Costello continued to churn out hit after hit, including Ride 'em Cowboy, Rio Rita, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. The latter film, released in 1948, is often cited as one of the greatest comedy horror films of all time, featuring a memorable performance by Bela Lugosi as Dracula. As their careers reached new heights, Costello became known for his generous spirit and willingness to help other performers, earning him the respect and admiration of his peers. He was always willing to lend a helping hand, offer words of encouragement, or provide valuable advice to those just starting out in the business. In 1942, Abbott and Costello began hosting their own radio show, The Abbott and Costello Show, which featured a mix of comedy sketches, musical performances, and celebrity guests. The program was a huge success, running for several years and providing a platform for the duo to showcase their unique brand of humor. During this time, they also became close friends with other notable comedians, including Bob Hope and Jack Benny, with whom they often performed and socialized. These friendships not only provided a support system, but also inspired them to push the boundaries of comedy and try new things. As the 1940s drew to a close, Abbott and Costello were at the pinnacle of their success, with a string of hit films, a popular radio show, and a reputation as one of the greatest comedy teams in the history of entertainment. Their impact on popular culture was undeniable, with their influence extending far beyond the world of comedy to music, film, and even politics. As Costello himself once observed, comedy is a serious business, but it's also a lot of fun, and that's what makes it so rewarding. With their unique blend of humor, charm, and charisma, Abbott and Costello had become an integral part of American entertainment, leaving an enduring legacy that continues to delight audiences to this day. Their success was not without its challenges, however. The duo faced intense scrutiny from critics, who often questioned the sophistication of their humor. They also navigated the complex web of Hollywood politics, where alliances were forged and broken with ease. Nevertheless, Abbott and Costello remained committed to their craft, always striving to innovate and improve. As they looked to the future, they knew that their partnership was the key to their success, and they continued to work together, creating some of the most iconic comedies of all time. As the 1950s dawned, Lou Costello's life began to slow down, his energetic pace tempered by health issues and personal struggles that had been simmering beneath the surface for years. The once boundless energy that had driven him to create some of the most iconic comedy routines of all time now seemed to be waning, like a fading ember, struggling to stay alight. Despite these challenges, he continued to work with his trusted partner, Bud Abbott, producing a string of films that, while not as groundbreaking as their earlier efforts, still showcased their unique chemistry and undeniable charm. One notable exception was Abbott and Costello. Meet the Keystone Cops, released in 1955, which featured the duo's signature blend of slapstick humor and witty banter. The film was a loving tribute to the silent-era comedians who had inspired them, and its success was a testament to the enduring appeal of their brand of comedy. As they navigated the chaotic world of the Keystone Cops, Costello's antics brought a new level of physicality to the role, his body contorting in impossible ways as he careened from one hilarious mishap to the next. In the late 1950s, Costello began to focus more on his personal life, spending time with his family and pursuing philanthropic endeavors that had always been close to his heart. He was particularly devoted to children's charities, often visiting hospitals and performing for young patients who were struggling to find joy in the midst of illness and adversity. As he once said, "Laughter is the best medicine, especially for kids. It's a way to make them forget their troubles and just have fun." These visits not only brought happiness to the children but also gave Costello a sense of purpose and fulfillment that went beyond his work in comedy. As he delved deeper into his philanthropic work, Costello's own experiences with hardship and struggle began to inform his approach. He had always been driven by a desire to make people laugh, but now he saw an opportunity to use his platform to make a more meaningful difference. He began to work closely with organizations that supported children's health and wellness, using his celebrity to raise awareness and funds for causes that were close to his heart. In 1959, Costello suffered a major heart attack, which forced him to reevaluate his priorities and slowed down his pace even further. The incident was a stark reminder of his own mortality, and it prompted him to take stock of his life and legacy. Despite his health issues, he continued to work, albeit at a reduced capacity, driven by a fierce determination to leave a lasting impact on the world of comedy. His final film with Abbott, Dance With Me, Henry, was released in 1956, but they would reunite one last time for a television special in 1957, a bittersweet farewell to their partnership that had spanned decades. The television special, which aired on Christmas Eve in 1957, was a poignant reminder of the duo's enduring chemistry and timeless appeal. As they performed their classic routines, Costello's energy and enthusiasm seemed to transcend his physical limitations, his spirit soaring as he connected with the audience on a deep and profound level. It was a fitting swan song for their partnership, a celebration of the joy and laughter that they had brought to countless people around the world. Lou Costello passed away on March 3, 1959, at the age of 52, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most beloved comedians of his era. His death was met with an outpouring of tributes and condolences from the entertainment industry, with many of his peers and colleagues praising his generosity, kindness, and unwavering dedication to his craft. The news of his passing sent shockwaves through the comedy world, as if a bright light had been extinguished, leaving behind only memories of his incredible talent and infectious enthusiasm. Today, Lou Costello is remembered as a true pioneer of comedy, whose influence can be seen in generations of comedians and actors who followed in his footsteps. His partnership with Abbott remains one of the most iconic and enduring in entertainment history, with their films and routines continuing to delight audiences around the world. As a testament to their lasting impact, the duo was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 1960, and their contributions to comedy were recognized with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Comedy Awards in 1991. He was a true original, a master of his craft who brought joy and laughter to countless people around the world. His commitment to philanthropy and his dedication to using his platform for good have inspired countless others to follow in his footsteps. In the end, Lou Costello's story is one of triumph and tragedy, of a life lived to the fullest and cut short far too soon. Yet, even in death, his legacy lives on, inspiring new generations of comedians, actors, and entertainers to follow in his footsteps. His journey, marked by both triumph and tragedy, serves as a reminder that our time on this earth is short, but the impact we can have on others can be profound and lasting. And so, as we bid farewell to this beloved comedian, we take with us the lessons of his life, that laughter is a powerful force for good, that kindness and generosity can change lives, and that the memories we create with others are the greatest legacy of all. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.